Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another mixed media tutorial with me, Lisa Taggart. And today we're going to make Christmas cards, and we're going to create a very sparkly snowflake background using the very interesting salt technique. It's a lot of fun, so if you want to join me, let's first of all take a look at the materials for today's project. Okay, to begin we'll require two blank cards. The first one is 5.5 by 5.5 inches and the second one is a DL card, both blank and both white. We're also using multifarious card for this project, but a watercolour card would do as well. Also some complementary coloured card of choice. In terms of the inks, I've pulled out blues and purples. So for this project I've got Fantasia, I've got Monarch and Medieval Blue, but any colours of choice would do the same job. Also we've got the Mysticals and I've got Fruit Sorbet, Bumblebee and Blue Moon. It's a nice combination, but again use what you have and go with the colours that you like. I've got table salt, and this is for crafting that I keep. Also water sprayer or mister. And also I'm using Elements ink pads. We've got Della Blue and Mulberry, and we're going to be spritzing them with water. I've got the number 1 mop brush for initially watering our piece of card. I've got the white Posca pen for splatters and the Icicle Stickles for some sparkle. I'm also going to do some heat embossing in this project, and we've got the Watermark stamp pad along with the anti-static bag and the Wow powder in white Twinkle, which has got a lovely silver twinkle to it. Also, of course, a heat tool for the heat embossing, and to stick the cards together, some glue of choice and foam pads to give the cards dimension. Now looking at the stamps, we have seasonal words, a couple from the set. We've also got 2 of the large snowflakes and 2 of the small snowflakes, and a couple more greetings, Christmas greetings for the insides of the cards, and these are all relatively new release stamps. So if you want to convert all of those into cards with sparkly backgrounds that look a little like this, just keep on watching. So first up we've got an A4 piece of multifarious card. I've just given it a light sprinkle of water, and I'm taking my mop brush and spreading that across the card. And really then this is the fun part. We're going to combine 3 of our mystical colours on the page, and we're going to spray them randomly just to create a multicoloured background for the card. And being careful not to mix the yellow with the blue as it would create green, but really whatever combination of colour you like would work here. And it's just a nice mixture of bright colours, and you could just do it one colour if you want as well, or just combine 2, whatever you fancy. So fill up the page, and it looks a little like this at the end. And then I'm going to take my salt, and I have a little container, and it's really a mixture of different size grains, but just the ordinary small table salt will do. And let that dry completely, and you'll see then that it sucks up some of the colour and creates this lovely granular cauliflower effect. So take a container and give it a good rub to rub off the salt from the surface of the card, and there it is with all the salt removed, and you can see it still sparkles a bit because of the mysticals. Next up we want to trim it to size, and we've taken our cards out and trimmed them with about 1/4 of an inch, maybe just under, maybe it's 1/8 of an inch, just to give it a white border around the edge. So that's that done. And next it's time to start stamping our snowflakes. So I've taken a couple of my pads out, Monarch and Fantasia, and as I say, any colours really will do, and 2 of the small snowflakes from the set, and starting off with the purple colour. And it's just random stamping to create a variety of texture and colour on the card. And I'm going to take then the purple and the other stamp and do the same again and repeat that onto both cards. So that stage is complete, and there you can see the snowflakes in the background, and it's very important that you dry them off completely because the next step involves heat embossing and embossing powder. So this time I've taken out the larger snowflakes, and I'm going to use my anti-static bag to pretty much cover both cards thoroughly. It's always a precarious thing to do some heat embossing when you've had ink underneath, but we'll give it a go. And I'm using the Versamark pad, which is essentially clear sticky ink. And similarly as with the other stamping before, we're going to randomly stamp the larger snowflakes on top. A little like that. It's hard to see where you're placing them, but try to spread them out evenly. And then we're going to sprinkle that with the white tinsel embossing powder. And there's more tinsel in this one than there is white. When you'll see that when it's heated up, and any little stray speckles, you can always brush them off with a brush, and make sure you get all the stamping. It's a bit messy, this is why I don't do it very often, but it is fun, and I never tire of watching the embossing powder change when you heat it up. So that's the next step. Make sure that the heat gun is nice and hot, and you just keep it on it until the tinsel turns sparkly, and keep going and repeat. And there's our twinkly snowflakes. Now I'm going to take the other large stamp and repeat the whole process. And as you can see, I've done that off camera. Next up, we're taking back to the smaller snowflakes again, and we're using our Elements ink pads. And this time I'm going for a sort of watery, blurred texture, just for a bit of variety. And to achieve that, I'm spraying the stamp before I place it on the card, and just seeing what I get. It doesn't always work, but you just keep going until you're happy with the result. And I'm going to alternate between the blue and the pink, and just keep going on both cards until I get a nice variety of blended snowflakes. Some of them you don't see very much, and others come out quite strongly, so I don't mind that. And it's a very abstract background, so it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be interesting. And there we are. That's how they look when they've been spread with water, spritzed with water, and it's just a wee extra step that adds to the texture and the interest in the background. So finally, I'm taking my white Posca pen, and I'm going to do some splatters, I think it would also look nice if you had a gold or silver pen, or even a black pen in addition to the white would look interesting as well. So just splattering them randomly to give it some extra additional texture. And this part is also fun to do, and you literally just take the end of a heavy brush, and I'm using the stencil brush from Lavinia Stamps, and giving it a good blatter and dry it off thoroughly as well. And there we are. So I'm also then stamping out my sentiments separately onto white multifarious card, and I've got this lilac colour from Ranger just lying around, but any type of coloured card would work, and whatever complements your colour choice as well. So just stamping out my sentiments individually, and then I'm going to cut them out as carefully and as straight as I can. So these are beautiful fonts in these new stamps, just absolutely perfect for your Christmas cards, and there's a lovely range of sentiments in the set as well. So just stamping those out carefully, trying to keep my inky fingers off them, and then cut them out and mount them up onto a piece of the lilac card. So I've stuck down my backgrounds, and I've taken my sentiments of choice from the set and Medieval Blue, and I've simply stamped those inside each of the cards, just like that. And finally then I'm taking my sentiments, which I've mounted up onto foam pads, and placed a little bit of glue on top for manoeuvrability, and I'm just going to stick those down at the front of each card. There we are. Now this is a background that is quite versatile, and as you'll see in a minute, I use this background for not just the sentiment, but also for stamping other images on top. So if you had any fairy stamp of choice, you could stamp that on top as well to give it additional interest. And there we are, that's them all mounted up. And finally, of course, we've got some extra sparkle. It's obligatory, and this Icicle Stickles is a lovely sparkly warm colour. It's very similar to the Diamond Stickles. It's a little bit thicker, and it was perfect for the centre of the snowflakes. One of the other things I did as well was to take a white gel pen and to restore some of the shape of the snowflakes. Not all of them, just some of them, just to bring them out, the ones that had been heat embossed, as you can see there, just to bring the shape back again. Now that's our cards completed, and I hope you enjoyed today's project, and it gives you some ideas for maybe those last minute Christmas cards. And it's something a little bit different, and it doesn't take too long, and it's just another interesting idea. And of course you have lots of leftover bits from that A4 sheet of paper, so in a minute or two you'll see what I have done with some of my scraps, and I'm bringing them in now. So that large scrap, I have stamped a fairy, a little bunny, and some of the other new stamps, and used another sentiment, and that's created another card. So you can do lots of things with this background. So thank you for joining me today. Of course, until next time, take very good care of yourselves, and above all, get creating, be brave, and enjoy the adventure.